Hello Tubesters, it's Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. Today it's just a catch up on where I'm at with HMS Avenger. Let me just check something. Yes, I've managed to break that off somehow. Oh well. Right, let's get back to a description. So I'm not sure what I've actually got done the last time. There's a fair bit of photo etch work done. Added a few more secondary or spare, I suppose you could call them spare sprues on the from the model, which is the grey bits, and then obviously all the white bits are my own bits of styrene I've added. So if we go aft to the stern, that's your nautical talk. One small stowage box is added there. There's about 3 other things that have got to go on the back of that yet. I've added some, I'm not sure if these are, I don't think they're communication antenna. I don't know if they do the static. I'm not 100% sure for the helicopter. They were so. One thing I've found about this Flyhawk photo etch, it's extremely soft at this scale anyway, and it can be problematic if you can't get a small piece like this antenna here manipulated to how you want within 1, maybe 2. It'll just fold and crumple on you, which it did on the one, and I thought, well, I can't have one the other, so I've just tried to make a bit of notched styrene for the antennas. On the rear there's these like louvers on the back. I don't know if they can, I'm following it, I'm not sure if it's Alacrity, HMS Alacrity. It's the Greenwich Museum's got a Type 21, and there's a lot of photographs of her as a large scale model, so I've been following a lot of that. Now what I hadn't realised was, realistically I should have stopped here at this line and then added these louvers on after the fact, so they butted up with the end of the styrene. Obviously I've bent, and I was quite proud of myself, I bent the styrene down, brilliant, but I didn't realise there was louvers to go on, so I've had to put a bit of stretch sprue over the back to almost, yes, it's sitting proud, but it's almost like an old 70s aircraft, you know, where the panels are proud, panel lines are proud rather than recessed. So I've had to do that there just to show that's what it is. And there's 2 like walk boards that go up, the crew can get up and down. There will be hopefully anyway, oh dear me, come on Gav, they're not barriers, are they? Whatever, you know, safety railings is a word I was after. Sorry, brain's not functioning today. Yeah, so there'll be railings all the way down there and at the back, and there's a small box I think at the back here as well that I've got to make, just probably out of a piece of styrene. So that'll get a bit more fussy on the back, and as I say, there's a couple of bits to go on the back. This will have netting, I'm not sure. I've done on HMS Kent, I've done them open because obviously they're to catch anybody blown off the deck more or less. I'm just on this one, I might do it just erect, you know, just as part of the barrier itself, just folded back up. Still have the links on the back. Ship's boats, I've managed. I knew I couldn't see, as you can see here. I've managed to. I put some stretch sprue over as a obviously lowering device. I take it, and that needs to be re-glued quickly. And I bent it round the, you know, to lock the boats in place as if it's tied in. Just done the masts. Again, that's just sanded down sprue, not sprue, square rod. I completely stuffed up again this really soft, it's so complicated bending the antenna. It's like about 4 or 5 pieces. Lost 1 piece, bent the rest out of shape, so I've had to finish it off with plasticard, which don't, styrene rod again, don't look great, but again it is what it is. On the, I will call it Alacrity, I can't remember if it was Alacrity or not, but should do. I mean, I've seen this model enough times, but they've got the Zodiac boat along here, but all the others I'd seen, and I swear it was Avenger herself, they seem to have the other boat because there's another little ship's boat underneath. These, I don't know if these were ribs back in the day or if they were just those early 1970s inflatables called Zodiacs. These cones on the main mast I had to put on myself, or make myself. I had to make a couple of the little radars, the smaller radars themselves. The large one I took it off that secondary sprue. It's not the straightest thing in the world, but it's also delicate. You can't really, once it's the super glue's taken, as I say, the next one I do, I'm going to either use 10-minute PVA, see if that works, or a slow moving activated CA, because once it grips, you're stuffed really, and the minute you start trying to move things around, everything just bends and breaks off. So I put the antenna on as best I could. Again, are they in exactly the right positions? Probably not, but I've done my best. Put a couple of ladders on that one as well. I've gone, I think I said before, I'm not sure if I had these on before or not, but the 20mm Oerlikon guns, anti-aircraft guns, I went with the ship's, the models, kits ones. I just cut a chunk out the face just to how it should be. There should be one at the bottom as well cut out, and I didn't realise I'd stuck them on. I just thought the PE ones, I've never liked PE anti-aircraft guns. I think it's not so much just the fiddliness, they've got no shape to them, if that makes sense. So yeah, these guys can sometimes be overly large, but I find sometimes the PE ones, one in 700, one in 600 scale, they're just a bit flat, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what we've got done. Right, I'm not going to edit that out. So I never edit anything. So I apologise for the phone call. Yeah, so it's looking really busy now, or she's looking really busy now. I've keep noticing all these little blemishes which I'm going to have to do before I do the railings. I've already done all this. I'm probably going to catch it, but there's little bits of stuff on the. I did give it another sand the other day. That's something else I'd do. Although, to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't have to do that much work to the next one if I follow a plan. Yeah, so what else has got to be done? Gun turret, which is fairly easy to do. Obviously, I've already got the base down there for her. Some pipe work, I'm not sure what it is, but there's some pipe work that goes quite distinctive, that goes near the ladder there. So I've got to try and add that up somehow. As I say, there is a little hatch that sits after the gun here, but I can't do that one. It's a pointy stick. It's as I say, if I'd have put that up slightly, a mil or 2 mils, I could have put at least a little square there to show the hatch at the back there, but can't do that now. I've got to put some holes in here for the hawsers. Do they still call them hawsers? Or are they just anchor chains? Anchor chains probably. But anchor chains, I've got to do obviously a couple of little windlasses or whatever they call them on these on here. I've got to put obviously the anchors in. So I think I've already covered. I've got to just busy this up in here slightly. There's about 5 flexible antennas, maybe 6. At least 2 coming off the bridge roof. There's a couple of other receivers of some descriptions. There's a couple more antennas that go off platforms here, like big whip antennas. Obviously all the railings run from obviously bow to stern. All this top piece got to have railings. I don't know, I've got a feeling I'll run out of railings, because this is obviously my version. Just all I've done is got a steel rule, literally the shape of the hull. I put the hull on the side of a piece of paper and drew it round to begin with, and then put that card plate as a template on the plaster card. So there's things like that I've got a feeling I'm just not going to have enough railings to match. If that's the case, I'll have to obviously buy some. But once I've got these bits fittings done here, and obviously I've got to put some antenna wires or whatever up there as well. But I won't do that, I think, until she's actually in the water, because I'm just going to knock them all off. But yeah, I don't, as I said to you before, this is all fairly clean here, so I don't think there's anything that I've got to put there. There's about 3 that appear to be portholes, maybe 4 along here. Got to sort that out. I think I'll just put some indentations and paint them black. I'm not going to obviously drill all the way through. Also got to build the Lynx helicopter up, which isn't, you know, anything major. And that's about it really. Might have to put these, some really rubbishy. I actually, although they're slightly bigger, I think the raft, those bubbles that hold the life rafts in, the blow up life rafts, I think the kit ones are probably a bit more better actually. But it's just that, if I remember rightly, they're actually on the main sprues, and I don't want to use up my kit parts, if that makes sense. These bits, as I say, all the grey bits you see are all extras. I've got spares of. Sorry about Arch clopping all over the place. He's waiting for my wife to come back from work. So yeah, there we go. So we're not that far off. Classic Gavin here. We're not that far off, but we're not. As I say, I've really got to send off one of those Perspex little squares so I can get the measurements, because I know I can get the measurements off eBay, because they'll give you them, but I'm not sure. You know, I'd like to plonk a piece of foam in there, first blue foam in there, and know that I can shut it down rather than do it too big, which is probably going to be what happens, and I have to keep cutting bits off. But yeah, as I say, there isn't a Matt Lowe that has served on these or saw them as part of an exercise or whatever that could really recognise HMS Avenger in this. But I've had a lot of fun doing it. As I say, it was the first one. I've got kits to build, of 1 in 700 kits to build. I've got a resin HMS Bristol to do in 1 in 700 scale, which will come up next after this. I have cleaned her. When I say cleaned her off, I've washed any oil residue off the resin, but I've not gone too mad on her, because I need to study photographs and get another bit of photo etch just to add to the photo etch that's there, as in ladders and stuff like that. But I thought, no, don't do any more until Avenger's done, as otherwise it'll be another stalled project, and I don't really want that. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. She's more 1 in 600 scale than 1 in 7. But as I say, when I originally bought her, can you make any more clippy cloppy noises, Arch? It wasn't until literally the day I opened her, and I was reading some reviews, and somebody had put way back in the day, yes, you can make more clippy cloppy noises. It was actually the Pit Road kit, the Dragon kit, which is all in the same one, the Revell kit. It is 1 in 700 scale. It's 1 in 600 rather than 1 in 7. And then you add to that my own little scale creep. The actual hull, I've managed to get, actually, because I've scribed around it, the hull is actually fairly accurate, sort of. Where I've gone with the scale creep is in this superstructure here. So adding the top piece on, added like a 0.5 of a mil or something. I probably scale creeped at least a mil in this, which is why I couldn't use the photo etch sides, which was a shame. But I'm still, there's sometimes, I'm not grumpy, but I can disparage my own stuff. But as I say, for somebody who's actually served in Type 21s or just knows this type of vessels, is it accurate? No, of course it's not, but it's the best that I can do. And as I say, I'd like to do some Leander, a Leander and a Rothsay as a scratch build, and I will get a set of plans for them. I'm not going to get the big expensive £30 plans that are done for radio control ones and then reduce them. But there's enough online of those type of plans that I can crib. I can take a screenshot, whatever it is, and get my wife or somebody to make them into 1 in 700 scale for me, and that way I can plonk my plastic, I can make my formers and everything, and hopefully everything will be properly to scale. So thanks for stopping by and taking a look. I just wanted to show, because I've done all the antenna masts over the last couple of evenings, and I did obviously another gun. I think that's this search radar for the gun. I might be wrong, or it could be for the Exocet. I'm not sure. It's funny that Type 21 is one of the few. If you try and get a second-hand Type 21 book, one of the Marriott books, I mean, they're like 50, 60, 70 quid. I don't know what it is about the Type 21. Either didn't make a lot of books or print a lot of books, or people, you know, just love the Type 21 that much that everyone's falling over themselves to buy it. Because I got them on the Type 42s and other, like the, I don't know, actually, I don't think I've got one on the Leander. But, you know, you can pick them up for 3 or 4 quid, which is what I do. That's Arch just demolishing the place. Right, I'm waffling. I'm still not over this blooming lurgy yet. It's driving me nuts at the moment. So look after yourselves. Next time you see her, it'll either be one last look at every, probably will be with all the shiny extra bit of brass on, the gun on, everything like that, and then I'll get her straight into a primer. But I would like to hopefully by then have had a little case that I can get that foam in and have her sat down, so I know what I'm going to look for. If anybody wants to see a nice ship build in 1 in 600 scale, my Mara Gary over at Gary's Stuff channel. A lot of you will know Gary. He's done HMS Devonshire, as you know. I've got that as well, and he's done a fantastic job on that. He's done the Starling Models upgrade set, which is a lot of 3D printed stuff. He's got the Atlantic Models photo etch stuff for that as well, and he's made a cracking job. Nice little seascape, and he's never done a seascape before. I thought it was a beautiful build. So yeah, you know, go over, check Gary's stuff, and check out his HMS Devonshire, because he's made a really fine job of that. I did say to my wife actually, because I'd said to Gary about he's not a big ship builder. I keep trying to encourage you guys out there, and there's not a lot of love for him. But yeah, I said to him, how about doing HMS Fearless stroke Intrepid, the 2 sister ships, which were our dock platforms, you know, for landing craft. And they served us for literally got to be about 40 odd years. Both gone for razor blades, unfortunately now. But obviously the old Airfix Fearless, I did fancy doing Intrepid just because of Fearless always gets all the recognition, and Intrepid you didn't think was round. But so I thought I'd do HMS Intrepid. There's not a lot of difference. But anyway, so the wife said she's going to probably get me that for Christmas, which will be good. I don't know when it'll get built because I've got a ton of other stuff to do yet. But yeah, go check Gary out. It's well worth. I think he did an unboxing better than mine, because he does all the proper slideshows and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Not me rambling away. And he's done a fantastic build as well. I think it'll be a while before he does another one, but you never know. Try and encourage him to do HMS Fearless, eh? I did say as well, maybe do because he said he enjoyed doing the seascape and he'd do a bit of things differently in that. And I said, you know, why don't you get a submarine and just make it all about the seascape, and the sub just happens to be there. Just a thought. Right, what's coming up next? Another video will be. I'm going to practice. I've been trying to solder, and I've had to wait for them helping hand things, because funny enough I haven't got 3 pairs of hands, and I'm having real trouble soldering at the moment, and I've got a couple of soldering questions because I'm trying to solder metal bayonets onto my 18mm Napoleonic figures, and I might need to have to ask for some advice on that. So there might be a video coming up of that, but they're not going to be here until tomorrow. So I just want to see if I'm doing something wrong with if it's only a cheap Chinese soldering iron, and I don't know if it's I'm doing something wrong, if it's not. Well, we'll get into that anyway on another video. Hopefully I'll have a little show and tell of those, my own little 18mm Napoleonic cavalry that I've been promising for goodness knows how long. That's to be done, and yeah, there'll be some other bits. So I'm off to sand Napoleonic 28mm French Cuirassier horses. They've all been filled. I've got a big pile of them. You can hear me clattering them around, having a look at them, and I've just got to give them a bit of a sand on some of the bits of filler I've done on them. So look after yourselves. Please consider doing a 1 in 700, 1 in 600 scale ships. Don't take a lot of room up. You don't have to make your own like me. Some beautiful kits out there, and you know, have a go, because they really are fantastic. Right, as you can hear, Archie's whinging now, and I'm getting confused. So look after yourselves, and we'll catch each other soon on another video.